Here we go. Got it. All right. So when people give you their objections, whatever it might be, I take that as a chance to publicly address that thing. So when they say they don't have time, I'll make a post about how I'm a full-time college student. I'm taking 18 credits, but yet I still find time to work out and drink my shake and meal plan and coach and this, that, and the other. I still find time to do all that. Overcoming those public objections, because they'll see that post and be like, she's not attacking me, but maybe somebody else had this objection, or maybe, somebody else thought this prior to me, and it is doable. They might look at it and be like, wow, I'm not alone, So I always say, like, publicly address those issues. I learned that at Summit this year. They said it was like a really important thing to do. I can't think right now, so can you talk for me? Because my brain's like a mumble jumble when I'm little.
Okay, so like she said, publicly address those objections. So when you have somebody who's like exactly what she said, no, I don't have time, no, I don't have the money, no, I can't do it for whatever reason, I don't publicly address it that same day because I don't want them to feel like because they said this, now I'm going to go do this. I kind of address it, like I make my post because at that moment it is fresh in my head, so I just open up a note and my phone and I just make my posts at that point. Then I, copy and paste it for like the next day or the next second day, like 2 days out from that. So that's a way that, I like to publicly address their no's. And what I normally say is when they tell me like no, or no, this doesn't really seem like something for me, I'm like, you know what? I completely understand. I was exactly in the same place that you were in. So I don't blame you at all for feeling that way. And sometimes they're like, wait, what do you mean? Like you were the same place that I'm at. And then they kind of like continue the conversation, or then they feel like, oh, wow, she understands. And then I go back and I follow up, next week, 2 weeks later. And I remember something specific from our conversation, which is why it's so important to form. Figure out something so unique about them, like what are they majoring in? I was just talking to like this girl that I went to high school with who's still in college. I'm like, hey, are you still a comm major? And she's probably like, what? I haven't talked to her in like 5 months. How does she still remember that? So you can put invites out there. You can come back later. And if you remember really like specific things about them, people really like that because it shows that you care. So you just go back to being their friend. You go back to, normal people mode and having like basic conversations and asking them questions and getting to know them better. That's like the number one way that I deal with objections. A lot of objections may be an objection for months and possibly years. So that never, I literally till this day, still reach out to people I reached out to 2 years ago. And I could probably say like a handful of people I reached out to still haven't like quote unquote signed up or like started a challenge pack or, became a coach. I like literally sent it to Sarah. I was like, Sarah, you were on my mega list. Katie, you're on my mega list. Like people that it's amazing that I have in my like team and in my group were people that I always wanted to reach out to. It's just, are you willing to be consistent? Are you willing to believe in this product like it's a part of your life, like you believe in yourself? And it sounds really weird to say that, but it's really what it comes down to. I was talking to somebody today who runs their own CrossFit gym. And imagine like going to somebody who's that prestigious and that well-known in DC, has their own CrossFit gym, and I'm coming with my Beachbody coaching opportunity. It's intimidating, right? Like and I was like so impressed with myself to even go sit in front of her and be like, I believe in this product more than I believed in anything. And like, she was like mind blown. Like when she was like talking to me, she's like, wow, like this sounds incredible. This sounds amazing. And I'm like, bam. Like, and I did that more for myself to learn how to be that confident in what I have to offer. I'm going to talk to you guys about one more objection that I actually had yesterday when one of my old people that I used to talk to, she talked to me and she's like, tell me more about what you're doing. And I want to read this exactly for you just because it's a very, very good idea and kind of good concept about how people will come around. So she has the program. She has 21 Day Fix. She borrowed somebody else's Shakeology. She didn't order anything through me. She's in a totally separate challenge group, but she sees this thing I'm doing on Facebook, all the sprinkling of my coaching she sees on Facebook. And she asks me, she goes, I'm good. Wait, what is this job you work at? And I was like, I answered something else and I go, the coaching work I'm doing? She goes, yeah. And I go, so I'm a health and wellness coach. I run my business virtually by helping people with their personal health and fitness goals, as well as helping others start their own business doing what I do. I was like, it's been life-changing for me since I get to stay home with Amelia and have so much flexibility in my life now. Basic way that I'm going to answer to her. And she goes, that's awesome. How do you get started? How do you get paid? I gave her a little bit of information about that. And she goes, but you aren't just a coach through Beachbody, right? You have your own business. Normally that text would have got me like frozen. I'd have been like, what do you mean just a coach through Beachbody? Like, really, is it that bad? And I'm gonna pat myself on the back. This response was like on point. So let me just read that real quick. I said, no, I actually am a coach through Beachbody, which is crazy. I didn't think the coaching thing was legit until I started and slowly got involved. I started just to help a few people and now have been able to help so many people. It's been crazy. Me and my team have been working hard together and it's been such an amazing experience. It's allowed me to leave my full-time nursing career to do this full-time. And she's like, wow. Like she was like, I didn't think that that's, what coaching was all about, because her experience with coaching and her experience with her personal coach was not this opportunity. So because it's been consistent with me for the past 2 years, I'm talking about the same thing, I'm doing the same thing, people kind of come around and they're like, okay, maybe now I should give this a try, which is really just how you're going to handle it. Are you going to kind of go up in a little ball and say, I can't handle this? And if you do, totally fine. I've done that plenty of times. It's just ask your upline coach. Ask me, ask Sarah. Sarah, I just got this text. What do I say? I can't tell you how many times I've even texted Sarah, I need a fresh brain. Like, what do I say to this? And she's like, well, then just say X, Y, and Z. I'm like, well, duh. Like, you forget how to be you sometimes and how to just like talk to people. So ask us until you kind of get to the groove of how to handle them. And they slowly start to become like so natural that you kind of want people to be like, what's your objection? Like, I want to answer it. I want to show you. You know what I mean? I want to tell you how awesome it is. So that's one way. Oh, this is so funny. She just texted me too. Wow, that's weird. Okay. The other thing we wanted to talk about was asking people to join you as a coach. So I told you guys today how I met up with, this CrossFit trainer who owns her own business and all that stuff. I strategically plan how I'm going to invite someone into coaching. I rarely ever, what?
I don't do that.
I know, and everyone's so different. I rarely ever drop the opportunity the first time I talk to someone. I don't form them and then message them the same day. Sarah is bomb at it. She's like, you know what? F it, I'm gonna ask you. So each person is so different and whatever works for you. The one thing that really kind of resonated with me that someone said was, if you don't feel comfortable dropping the message, you haven't formed them enough. And that to me was like, oh, duh. Like, some people need that. Some people need to get to the point of comfort. And I'm that kind of person. Like, I want to know you inside and out before I drop a message. Sarah's like, I got enough information. I'm going to ask you. You can say no. I'm going to ask you again, which obviously works perfectly for her. For me, it's like, I want to know everything about you and like get all snuggly with you. And then I'm going to ask you a message. So it really just depends on who you are. And the best way to ask someone, like if you see someone who's posting pictures about them working out and their nutrition and, their lifestyle and how healthy they are, just ask them. This is like, and like literally you can send them a message after you've asked them a few questions. Be like, hey, I know this is totally random, but I saw on your Facebook how awesome you've been doing about posting pictures of what you're eating and your workouts. Have you ever considered getting paid and doing what I do as a Beachbody coach? What are they going to say? Yes or no? Yes, I've considered it, but I don't really know anything about it. No, I've never considered it. Tell me more about it. Or yeah, and I'm not interested in it. You're like, you know what? Awesome. I just thought I'd ask because you're doing exactly what I do. But anyways, how are you doing? Switch it up. Bring it back to, basic conversation. But if you don't ever ask, it's an automatic no. And I think one of like the top coaches said that. She said, if you never ask somebody, it's automatically going to be a no. If you never try, it's always going to be a no. And I think what all of us fear, it's not asking. It's, and then what? So then they say yes. Then what do I do? that was my fear. I had like had a to-do list from like the ceiling to the ground of, okay, so someone's going to ask me yes for challenge group. Then what's my next step? And then what's my next step? Like there was like some kind of crazy system to it. I forgot how to be me. What did I experience when I started a challenge group? What did I want to do? What was my vision? You know, how did I go from where I was to where I am? Same thing with coaching. So don't forget, I think I was talking to Sarah about this, Sarah Engel. I was like, you're just sharing. There's nothing of selling. You're not a salesperson, and I don't ever want you to be a salesperson. You're sharing your journey, what this has done for you, how it's changed your life, whatever that might be. And if you find one of our stories relates better with a person, you're like, oh my God, my friend, my coworker, my co-coach did exactly that. Like, do you want to talk to her? We're going to talk to them. We don't care. Like, come on, we're all family. So shoot them our way. Let us talk to them. Let us figure out, you know, how can we help them? So that's the biggest concept that I feel like, you know, we've all kind of been tiptoeing around, you know, sharing the opportunity, really getting out there. I literally formed a person on the phone today for an hour. An hour. But why did I spend an hour today? I know, Sarah, you're probably like, what the hell? You're crazy. I'm like, I spent an hour because I caught up with her. She was an old nursing school friend of mine who no longer is a nurse. So I wanted to know why. Because that to me is like interesting. I'm like, ooh, that's my people's. Like, we were nurses, we're no longer nurses because of our experience. So I talked to her, and yeah, she's gonna be a challenger in our group, but where's my mind? I'm like, she's gonna be a kick-ass coach. She will be a coach. That's it. Like I've already figured out her future. She doesn't even know it yet. So that's where I want you guys to like see the potential. I put in a dirty amount of work that first hour, but that has me set. Does that make sense? So each person's a little different. Some people like to sprinkle how they form and how they build relationships. I like to like love on you and have that trust from like the get-go. So when I'm leading you and I'm guiding you, you're like, oh, I trust her. I know that what she's saying is true. So no right, no wrong, all different. Be you. Be whatever attracted you. If Sarah's your coach and she sprinkled and then like right away asked you, do that. That's your type of people. If I had like loved on you and you guys like that, do that. Be that type of person. So don't overthink it. And that's the number one thing I'm going to tell you. You'll overthink it. You'll overthink yourself in circles until you're like, I can't do this. And it's so simple. It's actually kind of disgusting. We just overthink it. It's literally 5 messages going out. 5 people. They don't have to be anybody crazy. 5 people, just 5 messages. What that does is that brings their eyes to your Facebook. Even if they don't respond, I've started noticing everybody who I've messaged starts liking my photos. It's crazy. So they're watching me now, which is amazing. That's when they start asking me, what are you doing? So even though I don't necessarily want to talk to them about it, they start coming to me. So 5 messages out, respond to everybody's message that comes in about Beachbody. You know, your challenge groups, your challengers, check in with that. Drink your shake, work out, post about it, talk about it. You're done. That's your business. That's it. And then talk about and share. Share this opportunity. Share the challenge groups. Share everything else. Don't worry about dirty work. Don't worry about, you know, making a video. Don't worry about any of that stuff. That's what we do. You don't do that. You just share. Keep loving, keep practicing, keep talking, building relationships, and that's it. I mean, really, I thought there was so much more to it that I probably wasted a year finding out what more was there and literally sat on my ass for a year. Don't do that. You don't need to. I did it for all of us. So, but yeah, I think that was just.
Okay, so I have a couple notes. Me and Priest are like complete opposite spectrums. She's like, I'm gonna tiptoe, and I'm like, I'm gonna cannonball right in. So for me, I just bluntly ask. I'm like, hey, you. I see you go to the gym all the time and you post these selfies. You should do what I do. And half the time they're like, well, what do you do? 9 times out of 10, I will put them in one of those backstage passes in the coaching and they'll be interested. I can't tell you how many people I've thrown into those backstage passes without even talking to them. I'll just invite them because they're curious. They're curious of what we do. And the more information they have, the more likely they are to either buy a challenge pack or become a coach.
when they see like all these misconceptions being shut down by all these people, they're gonna be like, wow, there is more to offer than just selfies and shakes. And they're gonna be interested, because I guarantee everybody on your friends list is like, what is this person doing? Like, what is this fad that she's doing? Because they don't know. You know, they know a little about what you post, but they're curious and they're kind of like confused.
And the biggest question they ask is, how are they so happy, or why are they so happy now? They won't ask you that to your face, but I'm telling you, they all wonder, like, why does she seem like she's on drugs? Like, what is this shake crack that she's drinking? I need to drink it. But they can't fathom spending how much money it is for a shake until I'm like, it's $4 a shake. That means your Starbucks drink. That means cut out Starbucks for a month and get healthy.
Or
Then
they think it's a protein shake, which in the sneak peeks to challengers or coaching, they bluntly tell you what Shakeology is not. I mean, they go over a lot of things that people just are curious about. So if you have a person who goes to the gym, who posts motivational things, who you think would be a great, like, kick-ass coach, but you've never talked to them, just invite them to the sneak peeks or the backstage passes. Invite them. And then half the time, I don't even shoot them a message, but another time I'll be like, hey, I invited you to this backstage pass because I think you'd be really good at it, you know, and just check it out if you get a chance. And I've had people, they'll say they're going and they're good. And then you follow up with them, say, hey, I saw that you went to the backstage pass in the whatever. What'd you think of it? And that gives you a leadway to talk to them about Beachbody without even having to form them. And then after that, you can be like, oh, okay, well, it's like reverse forming. So you've already shown your message. So now you're going backwards. You're like, oh, okay, so I saw that your son just started kindergarten. You know, how was that for you? Because obviously you're a first-time kindergartner mom. You know, that's got to be stressful. So you're kind of reverse forming at that point, but you have to do it with certain people. Like, I've noticed I only do it with, like, people that post fitness stuff, people that are, like, you know, taking all these different kinds of supplements, or people that are posting motivational stuff. Those are the kind of people that I, you know, just pop in those groups, or I direct message and say, hey, have you ever thought about coaching? I don't just send it to random people because that's kind of weird. Another thing is, don't write people off. That is the worst thing you can do in this business. My dog just threw up in my shoe. Don't write them off, because 9 times out of 10, the people that you write off in your head, they say, oh, they're not going to order. You know, I sent that order email, but they're not going to order like anytime soon. They don't have the money, are the first people to order. So don't write them off. If you have a person that comes to you and says, hey, I already bought 21 Day Fix and Shakeology, but my coach isn't really doing a challenge group, can I join yours? Always say yes, because those people are the people that are eagerly searching to be active and motivated in their fitness journey. They're eagerly searching for an active coach, and they want to improve themselves. So why wouldn't you accept them? You may not get the benefit of the sale right now, but you have that customer lifetime value who may even turn into a coach later. So don't write them off, and don't write off the people that you think aren't going to order right now, because you never know. So just help them and be, like, honest with them, and, you know, don't try to be deceiving about things. I don't know. Oh, another thing. A lot of people are like, I don't have 100 people to put on my mega list. I'm like, okay, you don't have 100 people, really? But anyways, that was me. I started revising my mega list as I, like, worked through it, because I was noticing it was getting kind of small. So I went through and looked at my Instagram and saw who was consistently liking my photos. So the people that were consistently liking my photos, I found them and put them on my mega list, because those people are following you to a T, and they're curious. And so if you reach out to them, what do you think is going to happen? Yeah. Unlike Teresa, I don't do the crawl on the ball thing. So if you're with me, don't crawl on the ball, because I'll kick you somewhere. You're not allowed to crawl on the ball. If you need help, there's so much information out here about this business. Let one of us know. Let your side partner, whoever you signed up with, let somebody know. There's no reason to crawl on the ball. You don't need to. There's so much information that you can learn from and, like, be successful in this business. So let somebody know. I mean, even if it's like Krista and Sammy, like, you guys can talk together and figure something out. You don't have to go to your upline.
So don't call on the ball. It's not an option for me. Well, at least for me. If you want to do it.
No longer an option for me. I'm done with balls. I don't like them. I mean, wow. You know what I'm saying?
And then my last thing is, who's to tell you that you're not good enough? Like, in your head, you may not think that you're good enough or you're a good enough coach to, like, offer whatever you have to offer. But these people perceive you the way they see you on the internet. You know, they only see that. They don't see, like, you laying down on the sofa eating Cheetos. They don't see that. They think you're a kick-ass person who's fit and does all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. And they think you're, like, the coolest person ever because they're following you. They don't know that, like, you know, all your downfalls and how you have a pimple on your forehead today. Like, they don't know that. So you have to believe in yourself before somebody else is going to believe in you. So, like, if you're going to hold somebody's hand through this journey, you have to believe in yourself and believe in the products that they're good enough to change somebody's life. Think about the first time that Beachbody changed your life and you were like, holy crap, this is actually working. I'm actually losing pounds. And you were like, I didn't think this was good enough. That moment in your life that you were like, this is changing my life. How is this possible? You have to think about that moment and that moment that you want other people to have. That's the moment that you're going to be like, okay, that's the fire in my belly. I think that's it.
Can we open up the floor to questions? Like, what are some objections you guys are having or something that you guys really need help with but haven't had the time to really ask us? Anything off the top of your head?
I always get the whole money thing. Go ahead, Carissa. I always get the whole money thing. Like, that's always what people say. Like, oh, I don't have the money right now. Or I already have the program. I've been thinking about doing it, but and I get.
That's how we're gonna make ourselves stay together.
I think it's Tina. Can you mute yourself? We just. Who is it now? Oh, it's Carissa. Okay, go ahead, Carissa. We couldn't hear you. Sorry. But I always get like the whole, oh, I don't have enough money, and I tell them like, well, 30-day money back guarantee. So really, you're not losing any money. Or that, if you really don't like it, I mean, you can pay back. But even then, they're like, well, I have bills, or. So they already have the program, but they are complaining about money, or is this two separate? No, this is two different things. Oh, okay. The first one, if they already have the program, I'd be like, all right, cool. Do you have an active coach? And if they say no, or like they're not connecting with their coach, I'd be like, all right, cool. Well, I have a challenge group this month, or one coming up. If you change me over to your coach, here's customer service, and here's my coach ID. I can give you access to my challenge group, and I would throw them in there. The second thing, if they have the program and they're not doing it, I would just throw them in that group anyways, because sometimes that group will get them motivated to do it within, just seeing everybody. And then the money objection is kind of difficult because you don't want to I don't want to push them and be like, oh no, you know what I mean? You don't want to discard their objection because you really don't know what their financial situation is, especially you just don't know. And so you don't want to make them feel like you're pushing them for something. The first thing I always offer is the 30-day money back guarantee. That's the number one thing. And then I always offer the breakdown of it's only $4 a day, and then you're saving $70 because you're buying them together. And then after that, it's kind of up to them because you don't want to be too pushy because you really don't know what their situation is. That's kind of a hard one.
Yeah, I've had something similar to that. I had someone who just graduated college, and she moved back home with her family, and she had depression, anxiety, and was does this really work for your depression, anxiety? Because medicine is not working for me, so I wanted to have an alternative, and I told her how great it was, and she was sold. I mean, she was need to sign up.
So what I do with financial objections, because I was a financial objection, and if you guys want to use my story.
I think she's cutting in and out.
She doesn't have internet. Sammy?
Okay.
Go ahead, Parisa, because we only have 4 minutes.
Okay, sorry. So I was a financial objection. When I first started, I was like, oof, I don't know if I can afford that. And honestly, like what I say to people now is I completely understand. Like I was exactly in the same place, and I couldn't afford this. I had to make an investment in myself. I put it on a credit card that I couldn't even pay off. And the second after I paid for it, like after I bought it, I was thinking about returning it. The 30-day money back guarantee gave me kind of like some comfort to know I had that option. But what was crazy was, if this doesn't work for you, please return it. I don't want you to hold on to it. I want you to get your money back. I know that you're in a financial burden. If you choose to do this, if you choose to do this and you succeed, I can help you get out of that financial burden. So you have this amazing opportunity. And if this is not the right time, and I always say that, if this is not the right time, I completely understand. But whenever it is, I'm here to help you. And I literally, that's where I go with, like, I'm not here to cause you more stress or more burden or whatever it is. It's really just, I run these every month. You know, right now it is on sale and it's this perfect opportunity. But if it's not the right time for you, don't even worry about it. Get at me when things are a little bit better. Think about this. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, try to figure out if there's any way that you can get into it if you really want to, and I'm here. And that's it. And people are normally like, wow, she really cares more than just making that sale. She cares about me. She was there. And if you weren't personally there, say, you know what, like one of my really good friends who's also a coach, she was exactly that same person. And, you know, she, you know, a nurse, a single mom, share my story. Like, she was a single mom and a nurse working and couldn't even make ends meet. And she invested in this. Not only did she lose 35 pounds, but she left her nursing job to do this full time. So share that little snippet with people, or actually posted something in our big, like, 21-day fix extreme kind of thing, where it shared my entire journey. If you guys want to share my before and after and that little snippet as like an objections post, by all means share it. I'll put it in Stronger Dynasty, and you guys can copy and paste that and share it out whatever day. It's a really good money objection. Why people say they can't do this because of financial reasons. Everyone can do it. And that's really like what it comes out to. You really want it bad enough, trust me, build that trust, build that relationship. It might not be in 1 month. It might not be in 2 months, 5, 6 months, which is why consistency is key on that follow-up. And go back to being a friend. Hey, how's everything going? I remember the last time we talked, you were going through a rough patch. Wow, she cares again. So be that person. Like, yes, be a, you know, ask, invite, tell people about it. But if they're really having a strong objection because they're going through so much, be a friend. The best thing you can do is be a friend, be a person. Because they'll come back. They'll be like, oh, she loved me when I was like going through all this hardship or whatever it is. And I say love because it's like emotion. So yeah, that thing.
Well, and that's, I was like, I noticed, because I read a study, you guys can also, this might help any of you, gut health, your like second brain now, and it has a huge connection to your mental health. So my doctor recommended that I start a probiotic, and that's helping with my like so I was like, you know, this, and like, you know, maybe you better play whatever. I'm by this, obviously. Like, I don't know, I kind of like that I was a friend, you know, customer or whatever.
It's gonna cut us off. It's actually less than a minute. If not, if any of you have questions, I'm pretty sure all of you have our numbers. Don't hesitate to call at whatever hour is convenient.
Or you can just write it underneath this, because Sarah will post this in our group. Just write your question underneath it, and we'll just come back and answer it right now.
Thanks, guys.
Perfect. Post the picture, please.
Okay.
Who, me?